Welcome back to Go Again Gaming, and welcome back to the League That Means Nothing too, where the stakes have never been lower. I'm Ian.
And I'm Connor. We are here to cast a game between Ben Odenheimer and Cale Brenzy. We're going to see Levia face off against Viserai. It's a battle of purple heroes.
Yeah, we're going to the demonastery for this one. Ben obviously playing Levia, a deck that has engendered a huge amount of fans,
Mhm.
both from when she was slightly less playable,
Yeah.
where you really had to work for an awful lot of your success, to now where she's become quite a powerful deck.
Yeah.
And if you can overcome her disadvantages, easily the strongest of the brutes.
Yeah, no, for sure. Like if you can master Levia, there's a lot of benefit for you there.
Whereas Kale, who is a lore YouTuber, I think Dead Summer on Twitter, is playing Viserai, my boy, the first deck I wanted to build when I saw Flesh and Blood. Uh, very cool hero.
Yeah.
Generates rune chance to beat the band. We're very familiar with him. We've had quite a few Viserai players locally.
Yeah. He's been around the block. He's been around for a long time. He looks like he should be a shadow hero himself, but he's from before the time of
Yeah,
shadow.
from the olden days.
Yeah.
Um,
Ye olden days when we didn't have shadow and light.
Boomer Flesh and Blood on
Yeah,
display
yeah.
here. No, Viserai obviously comes in multiple builds. There's the OTK version, there's the Turtle Burst version, which is similar but not quite.
Hmm.
There's a lot less sitting on your hands completely during the Turtle Burst version.
Yeah,
And then we have everyone still trying to
yeah,
relive the glory days that was Viserai Rosetta Thorn, where you could attack with a weapon for one.
yeah.
Now
No,
we've got Reaping Blade and Nebula Blade builds with just slightly different
yeah.
curves, but generally,
Different meaning, worse, but
yeah,
yeah.
they're the much more aggressive builds of Viserai. So, like,
Yeah.
if you're either of the players in this, what are you kind of looking to do? Viserai, obviously, in my opinion, is wanting to just set up their own thing, try and push through damage as much as possible. They're very good at interrupting the very powerful flip into Plasma Fett.
Yeah, there's a lot of tricky to prevent damage and weird breakpoints being presented, and that's a huge reason to play Levia is the flip, the turning into a flying spaghetti monster and
Yeah,
being a 5 intellect terror. But it's tough if you can't play around that 13 life threshold, and Viscera is definitely going to make that tricky.
yeah. No, Levia, obviously super powerful hero, got access to some of the best equipment ever printed in Flesh and Blood.
Hmm.
Scouting Flesh Bag,
Yeah,
Carrion Husk.
yeah,
Just a just a 6 block. Why not?
yeah. Who cares?
Savage Sash now.
Yeah,
Scab Skin Leathers.
yeah.
If you want a bit more consistency, you have Hooves of the Shadow Beast.
Hmm.
So Viserai much more likely to have.
Whoa! You don't forget Apex Bonebreaker, guaranteed 5 value on your arms.
Sure, why not? And then Viserai, obviously multiple builds. You've seen they can run any of the generic headpieces. The Runeblade headpieces aren't really worth talking about.
Hmm.
A lot of people have followed in Zach Bunn from Team Covenant's footsteps and used the Royal Viserai to just have a turbocharged turn.
Hmm.
Um, you've just got armor that blocks really well. Some of it generates resources. You've gloves that generate rune chance, and of course you've got spellbound creepers. Who, if you ask a Runeblade player, they'll tell you what they do. If you ask anyone else, they're just like, there's too many lines of text.
Yeah, no, like they put the transcript of the Bible on a pair of shoes.
At least it's not a Yu-Gi-Oh card.
Yeah. The text is normal sized. You can read it, you just won't understand it.
So obviously Viserai kind of taking a dip, both with the loss of Rosetta Thorn and the
Yeah.
printing of Warmongers.
He's been
I
having a rough time, generally speaking, I feel, where like when he was finally looking like he was getting to be threatening, Warmongers came and slapped him with a shovel, and then Rosetta got taken away, and yeah.
Yeah, like at least in this matchup, I don't expect to see a lot of Warmongers diplomacy.
Yeah, no, I can't imagine it'll be super relevant. But yeah, I'm looking forward to getting started.
Anyway, with that, we'll throw over to the gameplay. And here we go. We've got a high roll. Is that an odd even, I'd say? It was a bit of shaky cam there from Levia.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're seeing him set up here.
Cold foil.
Mandible
Claw.
Claw.
Yep.
Oof.
It's tasty.
Yeah, absolutely. Don't
Yeah.
think I've ever seen one before.
Oh, and we're using Spoiled Skull as the headpiece because we've
Yeah.
got the AB1 and it just allows you to generate a huge amount of damage.
Mm-hmm.
Like lets you buy back some cards.
Yeah.
And when you're setting up with Levia, sometimes all that you need is that one extra turn.
Mm-hmm.
Viserai himself on a Crown of Dominion build, like I was alluding to, that Royal Viserai using
Mm-hmm.
that potato gold from Heavy Hitters.
The big ham fist.
Yeah,
Love him.
yeah,
Love that guy. He's Irish, actually, I heard.
yeah.
We love a good spud.
That's some discussion from the players here about how Apex Bonebreaker works and how busted it is, I guess.
Yeah. We do see hooves as well.
Yeah.
Going for the consistency here.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of discussion recently about hooves having some other issues, which is just adding misses to your graveyard.
Mm-hmm.
So, while they do add consistency, they don't come completely cost free.
Yeah, absolutely. It's also worth mentioning that while Viserai hasn't had anything super recently, Levy actually has. She
Yeah,
got a Shadowborn Abomination, I want to call it. There's a lot of
yeah.
similar names for these Shadow Brute
Flesh,
cards.
flesh and blood card or metal band.
Yeah.
Uh,
No, we'll never beat Convulsions from the Bellows of Hell.
yeah.
That one's the goat.
And yes, everyone's favorite here. Take my beast within.
My overpitched for Beast Within to try and fix my hand, but this is pretty common. Seeing Levia go first and just kind of throw something out there, get a couple cards in the graveyard.
Yeah, and you want to get your Doomsday out of hand. It's not a lot you can do with it.
Yeah, no, you don't
Um,
want it this early.
I imagine they're going to block pretty aggressively here. Just cover this up. You don't want to leak any damage on turn one. We've got blocks with a yellow Vexing Malice, and I believe that's one of the new cards. I couldn't tell, but Kale in true Viserai player fashion. We've got the Viserai playmat. We've got
Hmm.
the purple sleeves.
Yeah.
Gotta love the purple sleeves. Right.
I'm interested to see how this one goes. Partially because I know that Mansant, the patron saint of Levia players everywhere, has a burning hatred for Viserai,
Yeah. I
which would make you think maybe it's a favored matchup, but he has admitted himself that he thinks it might just be his kryptonite.
yeah, I've heard some very unfavorable takes on how busted Viserai's hero ability is from Mansand. Huge fan of that channel, but boy, he hates Viserai.
He hates Viserai.
Yeah, here we go. A red Amplify the Arcanite coming in for 3, generating a rune chant for Viserai's ability with Go Again from Mavrian Skies. Gotta cover that one up.
Yeah,
Like,
no, just the immediate 6 block makes a lot of sense. Levia also realistically just needs a bit more graveyard fill to get things going.
yeah, I hear you need 3.
Yeah, at least three. Three is the golden number, so to speak. But you also need to be careful about starting to build up blood debt too early when you don't have the graveyard, just because you don't want to end up in a situation where you've built up blood debt but can't then proceed to play more
Yeah.
cards of banish
It
from your
does
grave.
look like there's a ghostly visit going though, so there's
Hmm.
probably some amount of recursion being generated in this matchup.
Yeah,
Yeah, there we go. Dread Screamer. So
banish 3 cards at random. Could
uh,
be anything.
I genuinely thought Ben was going to shuffle his graveyard.
Can you pick 3 cards, please?
Yeah. And this also means that Ben can follow up with that ghostly visit and just continue that recursion train.
Yeah, this is pretty sweet. This is a 2 card 10.
Yeah.
And it's also going to leave 2 cards in grave again. This is all good for Ben.
Obviously, Kale is going to try and generate rune chance turn to turn. You're not
Hmm.
going to try and generate too much, but like obviously if they'd amplify it at the Arcanite hit, you'd be pretty happy out. Viserai works extremely well off 5 card hands though, so
Yeah,
there's a good chance that you let some amount of this damage through.
yeah. It is realistically just damage. It's good numbers. It's just damage. It's a somewhat common brute problem, but it's been addressed a bit with cards like Send Packing.
Yeah, and getting cards like Dread Screamer in your banish zone early is really where you don't want to be
Hmm.
um, flipped and not have an awful lot of Dread Screamers going.
Yeah, you definitely want to make sure that there's gas
Yeah.
in the banish zone when you turn into the spaghetti monster.
Kale just saying, send me the bill.
Yeah, this makes sense to me.
I'll take 10.
Might also, even if there is a card to block, just be seeing what the follow up is, just in case there's something funky from Arsenal, maybe a Graveling Growl or something, as opposed to the Ghostly Visit. But
Yeah,
it is pretty face up here,
yeah,
and that's
Swarming
what we
Blue
see.
Bill. Great card. Everfest, making Runeblade's juice to the moon. Oh, what a time to be playing Flesh and Blood that was.
Nah, best card never presses blood in their hands. Change my mind.
Revel and Runeblood is busted in half.
No, no, blood in their hands. Change my mind.
Connor, you and I both know that that's not happening. That's not how this works.
No, no, you're never changing my mind.
I'll simply make a decision and shout about it. Yeah, we've got a Grasp pitching a blue, generating a second rune chance.
Yep.
Please, Kale, tell me you're just playing a million rune chant tokens. And
We're
a
gonna see him go away here.
Shrill of Skull form. Just a just a good old 2 for 7.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we're sending over a total of 9 here.
Yeah. Slowly sort of advancing our game plan. I imagine.
I mean, it's not looking as good as that 2 card 10 from Levia.
Yeah, we're
That's
taking
all
the
I'd
arcane
say.
anyway. I imagine if we ever get to see Kale draw a cash in, that's
Hmm.
when the game is going to get some serious juice.
Yeah, no, that's when things will be turned up to 100 for sure.
When your Levy opponent keeps an arsenal and keeps 4 cards, why does that feel like Art of War or Blood
Yeah,
Rush Bellows?
it feels exactly like I'm going to play a yellow card, and it's going to be very good.
Beast Within Copium?
Yeah, yeah.
There it is. BRB.
Yeah, okay. I can hold down the fort. Go on, off you go.
Yeah, the real difference maker for Levia and KO. It's
Yeah,
just your Blood Rush Bellow turns are so much more explosive.
yeah, no,
Like you might get
absolutely.
a nice +6 in KO. In Levia, you're easily presenting 28 plus points of damage.
Yeah, no, you get a lot with the double claw. Bloodrush Bellow, famously the card that tore KO's second arm off.
Oh yeah, because otherwise you would just be a Blood Rush deployment machine and
Yeah,
would probably be living legend by now.
yeah. I mean, he's going fast enough as it is.
Yeah. Have we got one Poverty Claw and one Cold Foil Claw?
I can't tell.
It's like
It's flashing. It's a strobe claw.
it's like a Jason Bourne movie.
Yeah, so we see the 5 go again from the claw. Obviously, the most common follow up to Blood Rush, and I think Ben here is just hoping he's got blues left after this, right?
Yeah,
That's basically all you need. You need blues and some sort of attack to chuck at the end of this, and your Blood Rush turn is going to be gas.
I mean, with a card in arsenal and 3 cards in hand, we're not too worried, right?
I've seen it happen. Like the Levia, because of the random mechanics and random discards, it can sometimes just occur that you just end up with no blues in that 3 cards, and that makes the whole claw into an extra attack thing really hard.
Yeah, Kale making the right call here, just taking the first claw. First claw
Yeah,
doesn't matter.
yeah. I think you've got to take a little bit of damage, just like we said. There's things like send packing running around. You want to make sure that you're not giving up too much too early.
Yeah, pitching another blue.
Yeah. So
Hey,
we've got the second blue at the very least. This is already looking very good for Ben.
who knows? Maybe Kale gets lucky. Ben just has a couple of wrecker romps.
Yeah. Likely. He's
Well,
not me, Ian.
true.
We see Kale take it again here. Likely scared of some sort of follow up at the end of this.
What
And
is that?
ooh, that's an endless maw, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a big one. And there was a couple more reds in the hand by the looks of it.
yeah. It was.
That's a 3 cost. He pitched 2 more cards for it. He had the one floating, so yeah.
We're shuffling the graveyard. Which card am I keeping?
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if that's how they choose to do it. I would hope so. For the sake of everyone's time.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, looks like
Keeping the
that's the
dread
way.
screamer.
Ben's
Here
an
now.
expert. We get rid of the 2 misses in the grave, including that ghostly visit, which is a relevant one to get back into the banish zone.
Absolutely. Now I have played a decent amount of Levia in my time, and when the deck pops off, it's so powerful. But man, tracking your banish, tracking your graveyard,
Yeah.
tracking everything else.
No, it's a big ask.
Yeah.
It's a big headache that the deck can present for
The
sure.
last time I played it on Army, it literally gave me a headache. And then of course, if your name is Conor McGrath, it sometimes just decides.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about it. I've sold that deck. It's not my problem anymore.
That's true.
Jack
Sometimes,
Canty was just as unlucky with it.
yeah,
The reason he ended up on KO is with me selling him the brute cards, and he started off with Levia, which like I don't blame him. I think Levia is way cooler, but like also Levia can kind of brick and kill herself, and that doesn't really happen to KO.
we love when that happens. It's so good. Feels so good. Yeah,
Looks like a Sonata being paid for here.
yeah. Pitching yellow in Sonata for 4. Really hoping to hit something here.
Ooh,
That will it.
oh,
Ooh.
this is looking rough.
Attack.
Oh my God. That's
That's
disaster. That is disaster.
yeah.
I
At a
gotta revisit those ratios, Kale. You gotta put a tax in there for that one.
that's rough, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
You never like to see it. It's very rough to see a player take a lot of damage and then just have their play fall totally flat. He even paid the extra,
Yeah, they did their
it's
best,
rough.
but like, it's not a lot you can do. Sometimes the deck just be that way.
Yeah. No, it's a fatal flaw with any card game. Sometimes the bad beats comes for you.
Yeah. So I guess we just use Tunic, Reaping Blade you. Oh,
I think it was just. Oh wait, yeah.
it would. Yeah.
Oh, I think they're representing Tunic with a 0
Yeah.
now. Okay, that makes sense.
Good old 3. If a hero has more life than any other hero, they can't gain life.
My what is that? 2 card 3.
You got it, baby.
Yeah.
Draw 4.
We'll see if Levia can make use of the tempo here. I think there's only about 2 or 3 cards in grave, which can sometimes make it a little difficult.
Yeah. Well, like, it's also a good thing when you think about it that Kale got to clear core non-attacks because
Yeah,
if you had just
if
attacked
you
her,
draw that hand, it's awful.
it's a bad time. We've got
Smashback Alehorn is a great way to bridge that gap if you do have issues with taking full advantage of the tempo.
yeah,
Just sets up for a big turn next turn.
banish 3.
Yep.
Here's 9. No, it's just a Boneyard Marauder. It's just a
Yes,
6.
just 6. This is actually a pretty below average turn for Ben, I would say.
Yeah.
This is a good opening for Kale, I would say.
Yeah, especially because Ben is now in a position where he does not have that graveyard fill.
Yeah.
So you can draw a hand
That
if
just doesn't really function, yeah.
if your opponent just sets up like 10 rune chance and passes.
Yeah, now there's also ways around that, of
Yeah,
course. There's a card about to go in Arsenal with an agility in play. Could very easily be a case that that's just a normal attack. Send
yeah,
that, block with a card, you've got the 3 graveyard back. You
yeah.
send over a big attack again.
Looking at Kale's equipment, just noticed no spellbound creepers.
Yeah, snaps.
Very strange. Because
I'll take your word for it. I don't know Viserai that well.
generally speaking, it's going to be
Oh,
Sonata.
we're trying again.
Let's
We
go.
haven't
Let's
had enough
go.
punishment.
Uno
One non-attack.
and a
A
shard.
shard, and that has an attack value. Yay!
We got there. One arcane. Let's go. I think
What was that card? That looked like, was that wage gold or
it
something?
was a wage gold.
That's crazy.
It's a Runeblade card.
Yeah, no, you're so right. You got to get those gold back for those cash-ins you're not getting to play so far, anyway.
As someone with an amount of experience on Viserai, I would be hesitant to have Shard in my deck, and if I'm playing Sonata,
Yeah, I mean it's a miss.
it's a miss.
We got to see it be a miss there, but we got away with it. Against the odds, got away with it this time, as
Yeah,
opposed to having better odds last time and missing.
it's a miss on both sides. It's a rough one. Yeah, so Levia obviously just taking the 1 point of damage here from the arcane.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see where Kale goes with this turn now. So obviously we've replaced the card in hand.
Yeah.
So we have a 4 card hand here. We took the 6 damage from the Boneyard Marauder, so obviously we weren't super concerned about it.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, this looks like a good opening for Kale. Let's hope he can do something powerful here.
See where we're at. Perfect.
Starting
Swarming
off with a
Gloomveil.
swarm.
Good start.
Yep.
And this is one of those moments where I would say you miss things like Spellbound Creepers because it allows you to really throw in. Oh, actually, there's a Revel here.
Yeah,
Yikes.
yeah.
It's actually 4, and you can't prevent the arcane now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just taking 4 here. Ben obviously got a very powerful hand. Not too
Yeah.
worried about his graveyard.
I mean, if you think agilities are strong in KO, they are really, really powerful for Levia.
Absolutely true. Let's see what have we got coming now.
He
Man,
also has those really cool Mansant tokens.
see what I mean?
Yep.
Spellbound Creepers would make a huge difference there.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Who
but that
knows? Maybe we'll
hey,
see snaps come back though.
Kale, my man,
Yeah.
absolutely just playing with a fat stack of rune chants.
A pile of rune chants.
Yeah, all you need to do is rune chant for one, throw it at your opponent,
Yeah. I mean, it would be a pretty impressive throw to get it from one side of the world to the other.
and pitching for. Oh yeah,
Meet and
meet
greet.
and greet. What a card! 4 and 5 or more.
I think it might be 6. Yeah.
4 and 6. Yeah. Generating a rune chant that isn't going to do a whole lot.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, if meet and greet hits here, it generates a rune chant. Obviously, Viserai's text generates a rune chant. I don't think Kale has any other cards in hand.
Yeah. So there's
Which,
no way to follow up with those other rune chants, and they'll just get destroyed at the end.
yeah, the oft forgotten text on Revel in Runeblood until it happens.
Yeah. See how Ben chooses to deal with this. This is a pretty awkward one for Kale because if Ben eats all of this, he would go to 14, which is one off of that golden number to flip into. But you generally will struggle, I think, to have a 5 card hand also end up with flipping, like not turn off Blood Debt when you have 5 cards.
True. Like this is one of those situations as well where you could take the 6, block with the husk, get the value from it.
Mm-hmm.
Your blood debt is 6. You're guaranteed to flip unless you obviously turn off blood debt.
Yeah.
But again,
But the graveyard's pretty light, so
come on, Viserai. Let's see what you can do. We gotta keep giving Mansant an aneurysm.
all I can think of whenever I see
Oh,
Viserai
just
now, oh, going for
send me the
14.
bill.
Yep. But when I see Viscera, all I can think of is the I think Nathan Crawford top aided like a battle hardened or something, and
PTI, yeah.
yeah, something like that. And Mansant just from the background of the distance with the oh Viscera.
Now, Kale, very importantly, should not have those rune chats.
Yeah, no, those should be gone.
Let's see if it comes into play. Hopefully not.
Yeah, hopefully it doesn't make an impact.
Yeah, again, Revel in Runeblood. Very relevant piece of text.
Oh, massive beast within coming
Let's
over here
go.
for 7. Go again.
At least it's not that record romp.
It does put a card into the grave. There's 2 in hand, 1 in arsenal.
Yeah, pitching a wrecker romp to throw 6.
Yeah, could just potentially be a follow up with a normal attack here into a flip. We'll have to see.
That's true. And if you would say you had a draw discard or a discard effect, if you discarded that beast within, you might accidentally just turn off.
Just turn off your own flip and the blood debt. You would go below 13. You what? 13 exactly. So
Yeah, bad
yeah.
times.
Mm-hmm.
I
So yeah,
wonder.
sending it over makes a lot of sense.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're going to block 3 here on the 7. Take 4. Now, Vexing Malice, that's a card for turning off Levia's flip ability.
Mm-hmm.
2 Arcane.
Yeah, very difficult to prevent.
And what are we following this up with?
Slithering Shadowpeed, I think. Yep, so this currently will be a turn that does not turn off Blood Debt, which will mean that we could see the old flying spaghetti monster come out,
Absolutely.
and
No, it's fine. Just
it's
take five.
incredibly powerful.
Just take five.
Yeah, yeah. No, that demi hero text is pretty insane. You just get to become a 5 intellect hero with some pretty powerful gas in the Banish Zone, from what I can remember.
Yeah, and we get a free block with a carrion husk as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's no downside. Just goes in face down. Be
Oh,
interesting to see how Kale chooses to deal with this. Maybe there's a world where he just blocks this out and Arsenals lets the Carrion Husk go away.
yeah, deny that.
Because if you're blocking this at all, then whatever you're sending back is probably just going to be blocked by the Husk anyway.
Yeah, just let them generate value, I guess.
Yeah,
But while you're losing value on the husk, you're giving your so you're saying, yeah, sure,
yeah, you have full tempo.
take your 6 card hand. What of it?
But this is what I mean though, is what's the alternative? You give them the block with the husk while taking damage
Yeah.
and leak maybe a minor amount. It's a tough spot for Kale.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that may be what they're doing here, taking the 6 block.
Yeah, and just hoping that Levia can't make full advantage of having the full tempo,
Yeah.
and maybe we get with this Arsenal card one big turn.
It does be happening sometimes. I've seen plenty of Levia hands that are like, oh,
Yeah, like it can be tough to use the
here's
tempo.
my
Now, I think we have a Dread Screamer that's guaranteed to be in hand, quote unquote,
yeah.
because of the banish zone. So it's going to be tough for this one to be too
We
bad.
got 4 face down banishes. Those are some pretty powerful cards to see gone.
Yeah, it's nothing too crazy. I don't think Ben's going to be sweating too much. It's when you start losing the likes of Bloodrush Bellow, that's when things can get a bit dicier. But I also don't think Viserai has the same blocking power that a lot of other heroes get when they can potentially make fatigue an issue. But even at that, there's only 5 cards in that banish zone that I don't think Ben's going to have too much trouble clearing. And there's not going to be a Carrion Husk in there to keep that mill going over and over and over again.
Yeah, we've got 1 card left in hand. In an ideal world, that's a cash in. We stick it in Arsenal.
And hope to see another turn
Hopefully, we
with
don't
a
die.
big
Please,
hand.
please don't die. Please don't
Yeah,
die.
yeah.
Now, again, I think those rune chants that Revel and Runeblood text has gotten missed.
Yeah, it looks like it. We'll have to see if that comes up.
Yeah, they'll win by 1 point of damage. I swear.
Yeah, yeah.
Honestly, it's
It
an
wouldn't
honest.
be the first game of Flesh and Blood decided by 1 point of damage. There's a lot of close games. It's one of the things I really love about Fab.
Sigil of Solace. Okay, let's see what we have on Kale's turn here. I wouldn't think it would be worth attacking almost.
Yeah, this is what I mean. I think the fact that he's blocked with the cards pretty much puts writing on the wall that this is likely to just be Arsenal.
Yeah, because you really need a 5 card hand here. Like you may somehow force through the damage, but you don't know.
Yeah, you like the rune chants might get through, but like, what's the difference
That's
really
true.
between 13 and 11 when the rune chants could just sit and play for later?
Yeah. And
Uh,
like
yeah, I mean, listen, Viserai can do some powerful things. He's not about to send a 1 card greater than 6, I don't think,
no,
to
absolutely
make
not.
the Carrion Husk block irrelevant.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're seeing the Arsenal, and we're hoping to have enough room to get one more big turn, but I would imagine Levia has plenty to say about that, or should I say, blasphemet Levia consumed.
Yeah. Now we have a real problem, obviously, in that Ben has exactly 3 cards in the yard.
Yeah,
So you get one. You get one big swing here.
yeah. So the thing is that there is the potential to use the Dread Screamer from Banish.
Yeah.
Then Pop Hooves send Ghostly Visit, and you would be 1 card off.
Because
No, you would have 3 cards because Hooves would be in there as well.
yeah,
So you can potentially send 2 Banishers here.
that's true. And because notably, while Plasma Fet allows you to play 1 card from your banish, Ghostly Visit has its own text, which allows it to be
Yeah, yeah.
banished. We do love when we see our opponent's Clarion Husk just disappear for no value.
Yeah. Now, I did see it looked like a shadow blast. Yeah, that
Yeah,
is a red. So
that's a good start.
it is a good start for Kale.
Yeah, just a Boneyard Marauder.
We could see hooves go here, but I'd be somewhat surprised.
Banish 3. Yeah,
Oh no,
and there's the
it looks like
hooves.
the hooves are coming out.
Yeah, we're really like
I'm
giving up.
interested to see how this works out now.
Yeah, we're kind of we've lost the block value on the hubs. We never got the block value on the carrion husk.
Yeah,
But
I
hey,
do think that Ben is very much still in the driver's seat though here.
absolutely.
Full tempo with a life lead. I think you can afford to waste a bit of equipment value. After all, equipment value doesn't matter if your opponent is dead.
That's true. And like with a single blue, we'll be able to threaten 10 next turn.
Yeah, no, it's very scary. I do not envy Kale. He's got a tough battle ahead if he wants to try and claw this back, even with the two somewhat cheaty rune chance.
Yeah. I wonder what else. Yeah, go to 5.
Yeah, no, this makes sense to me. Like I mentioned, I think the threat of cards like Send Packing or CNC kind of make you want to eat the first attack that any brute sends at you because you don't want to block this and then go, oh, great, now I have to deal with a Send Packing.
I am a chump.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. We're just finding the numbers on the dial there. Yeah, go to
Yeah,
5.
yeah.
Ben, just again, even his life total, he's keeping there it
And
is.
there's the CNC. This is exactly why we can't afford to block the likes of Boneyard Marauder. And it looks like it was a full red hand.
Yeah,
Um, so like this is probably one of the best case scenarios for Kale, and it's still this rough.
yeah, I
It
believe
just
that.
shows how powerful Levia can be, and when you get into the driving seat, it can be very rough to wrestle her back out of it.
Yeah, like your best option here again, like I said, is a 2 card block and a cash in.
Yeah,
Just lets you.
could be one card grasp and tunic maybe.
Yeah,
Um, and then yeah, we really need to see a cash in. We are running out of room for the cash in, and I mean if we don't see a cash in, then that gold is looking awful, and that helmet is looking pretty poor as well.
yeah.
You know.
I played an awful lot of Royal Briar, as you well know, and like sometimes if you're like hurting for that last bit of damage, or you're looking at a hand that's just a stone cold brick,
Yeah.
sometimes you got to cash that gold in, baby.
Yeah. No. 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 Of course, you can use the gold for its own text, but I think you would much rather have played something along the lines of Balance of Justice in that case, where you get the two block and the card out of it for zero cost.
Yeah, Kale's really having to think about this one.
Yeah, and understandably so.
Yeah, this is a tough one here. It's not a position that I would like to be in myself.
No,
It's a
no.
position I've been in before. I played against well-regarded member of the Flash and Blood community, Eugene C, over in Calling, Birmingham. He played Levia. We played 6 turns of Flash and Blood. He played 3 Blood Rush Bellows and 3 Ardivores.
It looks like Kale's choosing to give two cards
Yeah.
here, which does not bode well for how powerful the turn may end up being or how powerful the hand was.
Well, we can always hope. We live in hope.
Yep,
Well, we're losing an Ardivore here for Plasma Fett,
yep.
but I think Ben's doing all right.
I think Ben will be fine with that.
Yeah,
Not getting to clear anything out of that little blood debt pile, though, does mean that there's an extra card getting milled. It's not totally irrelevant.
no. Um, Ben forgetting to finish the cleanup there. Four reds just sitting in the
Yeah,
pitch
a
zone.
little. Listen, he's just got a lot of piles going on. There's a lot of
Yeah,
piles of cards on the
we're
table
pitching a yellow here. Reaping Blade. Yikes.
with the two rune chants that shouldn't be there.
That's not what you want to be doing off a 3 card hand, baby.
No, not at all. Um,
Like,
is there anything here? Like, is there a trick that I'm missing as a non-Viserai player?
yeah,
Ben should have taken one
yeah,
here.
1 point of damage.
Ah, sure. Yeah. All right. Well, Ben, you have full tempo once again. Do your worst.
I'm desperate to know why Viserai took all that damage from the first attack. Maybe hoping it
Yeah,
wasn't a command and conquer.
maybe. I can't recall exactly what blocked, but I don't remember it being any sort of fireworks. I think it was just two attacks, right?
Yeah.
Maybe hoping to deploy those snaps, because again, like if Kale does
Uh,
die here, there's a lot of value left on the table.
hell. Well, here's an Art of War.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Go again, draw two. Let's go.
Interesting that we also didn't see any. Well, we didn't see the gold popped. There may have been consideration for it, but yeah, it's tough. You definitely want to get the cash in rather than paying
Yeah.
for it.
Absolutely. This is looking like a rough time, though. Good
Oh,
old
Graveling
Graveling.
Growl. That is very powerful.
Yeah, if that
Classic 1 for 7 go again.
yeah, and if that last card in Ben's hand is a blue, we're looking at another 10 damage after this, so a nice casual 17 damage turn.
Yeah, and Kale's gonna struggle to cover that. I mean, any hero would struggle to cover that. And like I said earlier, Viserai is not exactly known for his blocking.
No, a lot of his cards block three.
Yeah,
You
but I,
just
I
need
wouldn't
them.
say he blocks fantastically well either. You know, he does run a reasonable number of 2 blocks, I feel.
I think the bigger problem is the fact that you need the cards in your hand to do anything.
Yeah, of course.
It's fine. Just keep a blue go, grasp, reaping blade, and just do that every turn.
Something tells me that Ben may be able to deal with that strategy.
There is a full block, two double revel, and a swarming.
Yeah.
Again, hands like that. That's why you want the spellbound creepers because you can attack creepers in revel.
We're seeing a Dread Screamer here.
Yeah, coming out of the banish zone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we've got a six, a seven into a six into probably that.
Ghostly Visit, maybe.
Have we pitched for that?
Um, I'm not seeing it. Maybe they're just setting it up now.
Mm.
Definitely should have pitched first, though.
There it is.
Ah, there we go. 2 floating could still just be another 6 attack in hand. And we've already blocked with 3 cards from Kale's side of the board, so
Yeah, or that,
there's a world where this is just lights out.
or that ghostly visit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we've got a two.
That would currently be putting Kale to 1.
Yeah, it's a rough old game for Viserai.
Yeah, definitely.
I think it just reminds me of a discussion I had a long time ago about playing Viserai with some friends. And that was like it feels like it has all come down to that turn where that Sonata Arcanix whiffed.
Yeah, it's such a huge tempo loss after taking a chunk of damage.
Yeah. Like I was talking to someone
Is
about
that a Shadowpede? Yeah,
yeah.
another 6.
Game
Oh, and it's Gorg Tome in hand.
yeah. One of those things that we always used to talk about was um never put yourself in a position where the Sonata Arcanix whiff
It loses you the game type of
or
thing.
ends you the turn where you're like unless you're stuck relying on it, you
Mm-hmm.
don't want to. Like it could have been a situation where you make a rune chant instead and pass and just wait.
Yeah.
But
Well, big congratulations to Ben. I think he played it really, really clean. I think Kale did get a bit unlucky for sure. The Sonata whiff after paying for it is definitely rough.
yeah,
Um, and just in general, no big cash in turn, no huge advantage on almost any of the equipment. We see the snaps used. It was a tough time.
yeah,
But that take nothing away from Ben. Ben played
no,
really well, and I think it goes to show just how much more powerful Levia is now compared to days gone by.
absolutely.
Like if you said a couple of years ago to some Viserai player or Runeblade main in general that in a few years Levia would be turning him inside out, I mean, I think people would have been surprised.
No, I think think Ben needs to get himself over to that League of Levia Discord and start giving Ethan some lessons, you know?
Ah, well, he had the tokens, so I'd say he's
True.
he's he's already in there. I'm sure he's sharing his nuggets of wisdom as
Yeah.
we speak.
Coaching for a very reasonable fee.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You just have to
um,
pay in blood, of course. It's the League of Levia.
yeah. No, excellent game. Hard luck on Kale. Really
Yeah,
tried to make a game of it.
yeah, no,
Managed to force through a fair bit of damage. Had a couple of decent turns, but nothing that you could really capitalize on and steal the tempo.
yeah. And I think that Ben pretty much the whole way through was really giving him the screws. Like
Yeah.
there was that one all red hand, but he really made the most of it with the hooves pop into the CNC. The fact that it was a disruptive follow up is just so relevant.
Yeah, like
Um,
sometimes in this game you are the hammer and sometimes you're the nail. Levia was the hammer today.
yeah, absolutely. The Hellhammer, so to speak.
They don't play that card. That card's crap.
We'll see. We'll see. One day,
Yeah,
Hellhammer gamers will rise up when the
yeah,
claws are gone.
when KO hits LL.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, nice blood rush bellow. Ass.
Whoa, Hellhammer for 8? It's pretty good.
Yeah. Uh, thank you so much for watching. If you like the video, please do subscribe. Give us some feedback on our commentary. Welcome us back to the league. That means nothing. We are going to be commenting on most of the games going forward,
Yeah,
hopefully. We are your main
lots at the very
casters.
least. You'll see us again.
Yeah, more fool you. Again, I've been Ian. You can find me on Twitter at @finals_spirit.
And I have been Connor. You can find me at Edge of Air.
You can also find us at Proto Amsterdam and most of the events that are floating around Europe.
Yeah,
Maybe a couple more of them. So if you see us and you don't hate our commentary, come and say hi.
yeah,
If you hate
absolutely.
it, complain to Az. Don't talk to me.
No, you can tell me. I don't mind. I can take it. I've got thick skin.
No, you're just thick.
Just don't tell Ian.
Right. Thank you so much.
Thanks,
Goodbye.
guys.
See you in
Bye-bye.
the next one.